Hello everyone and welcome to the 4th Go4 MOBA Legends North American Cup. My name is Sona and I am joined by the wonderful Desertu for tonight's action.
You are first time for me here. Glad to be here, and I think as all the players and probably spectators in the scene will echo, it's great to see a tournament being ran for MOBA Legends, and excited to see what comes out of tonight. Actually, done a bit of talking to Wind from SC Blue, and well, good and interesting picks coming out, especially since you consider that the changes came through in terms of the patch 2 weeks ago. Things have started heating up and changing around a bit, so good to see what other changes we'll start seeing this week compared to last.
Oh, definitely, and we are actually into our first game of the night. It's Bad Mama Jummers 2 versus PH Allstars. Some pretty exciting names to say the least here. So Bad Mama Jummers on the blue side to start off versus PH starting off on that red side. Every game tonight is a best of 3, so they do have chances to come back into it. But Bad Mama Jummers, we've only actually seen compete in one tournament last week where they got knocked out by TSM in the second round, I want to say, whereas PH played up against Second Chance Gaming Purple last week as well, and already we see some action. Are you in? You're not in the game, are you, man?
I'm currently not in, so I will leave this.
Okay, so we're going to jump around. It looks like Asian Boy might be the first to fall. He does go down to Jafafa. Darren will get taken away as well. Ukulele gets taken out now. Roland already level 2 here for the side of PH All-Star. So I didn't realise you weren't in game, so that caused a slight problem. Are you able to get into the game, Des?
I'm currently mashing this wonderful eye next to your name, Sona, and it eventually will let me into the game, I'm sure.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Here we go.
I'll quickly talk down team compositions as we wait for you to get in, Des. It's gonna be Roland, Kull, and Ionic on the side of PH. And we're going to see Ionic actually going down into the bottom lane here for BMJ, Uxar, and Devon, their picks as well. Slightly surprised to see Ionic in the bottom lane. Usually you don't see too many ranged legends being taken down there. Ionic's one of the few ranged legends actually that can work. But he has to be very careful because Roland's already got that level 3, picked up that regen, and is going to jump in onto him as well. Ionic taking a huge amount of pain here. Prophecy needs to use that blink to get him away. The teleport gets himself back underneath the safety of his turret, and he will be fine for now.
He will. I am currently in game, but I'm currently staring at the very first relic fight that we saw. So these are the issues.
Okay, so you're slightly behind. Well, why don't you give us some sort of I'll give you a minute to work out what's going on in the game, and then you can give us some analysis as to these legends and these picks, and I will continue with the play-by-play action as we go along. How's that sound to you?
I'd say it sounds fantastic if I could figure out how on earth I catch up with everyone. But that would appear to be...
It's quite difficult. Sometimes the spectator clients do actually... They sort of sync up later on, which is why it's best that I am streaming, because I will be doing the action calling as we do go through the night. Yeah, Darren top. It's a really odd choice here for BMJ. Usually, of course, you see Darren taken into that bottom lane, and the Ionic would come up here towards the top. They're going to go on towards Penny on this call. He does pick up the... Actually, Darren got the regen himself, so we'll go into that ultimate form. They're going to try and chase down Asian Boy. Chubby Asian Boy needs to get himself away, but will get taken out. Prophecy able to come up from the bottom lane with that Ionic to pick up the kill. And it is 2-1 for BMJ now.
Yeah, so just to touch back on what you said a second ago about Darren, you're right, you do see down the bottom a lot. Tend to find you have the duo in top lane in terms of the something to carry, or a caster, and maybe a tank. Darren, though, like you say, you tend to see him on his own purely because he can fend for himself, good at roaming, he can make a lot of impact when he does get into the fight in the top lane. Obviously depends when he gets into there in that regard as well. And I'm being notified in chat here that
we should have started specking at the same time. Okay. Well, it's fine. It's fine, man.
We can work on it. We can work on our synergy for the next game for now. I'll literally just let's do this as we go. So you can tell me what's happening. I'll listen to your voice. It's like listening to the radio 20 years ago when we didn't have the glory of spectator platforms. Let's see how we do.
I think I might turn you up ever so slightly because you seem a little bit quiet in comparison to me. Hopefully that will fix things for us. If there are any issues with the stream, just let us know. Very happy to fix it. Roland's going to take some pain here. Tries to get onto Ukulele. Darren will fall. And now we're going to see PH be able to retreat. Ionic has come up. Prophecy trying to get on towards the enemy Ionic. But great knock up there from Apple Pen. He's got his pen. He's got his apple. And he's got his team a kill as well. What an awful name to pick for
as soon as you said it, I was just like, oh no. But the really nice thing I've got here actually is I can see exactly what you're saying. A little bit behind in time, but I can still see what's going on. Like you say, the great knock-up from Apple Pen in that fight was kind of the defining moment at the end of it. It did win them a double kill off the back at the end of that, so it didn't work out too badly for them at all. Obviously now the score tied, well not tied, sorry, it's currently 2-3. What's going to be the answer coming back here from Big Mama's Pajamas, was it?
Bad Mama's Jammers. Bad Mama Jammers, mate.
I got close.
Not pajamas. They're not they're not going to sleep.
Bad Mama's Pajamas, all right?
They're just bad Mama Jammers. They're not going to sleep, man. They don't need pajamas. They just need to jam.
Put the enemy team to sleep. That's probably what they're trying to say.
Quite possibly, yeah. BMJ is actually the name of a medical journal in the UK. It's the British Medical Journal. So Prophecy and the squad obviously trying to euthanize the enemy team here, take them out. Whether they'll be able to do that effectively, it's definitely up to them. We'll pick up that Tiger, give it across towards Yonic, you know, gets him all that extra P attack. We'll be able to do a huge amount of work in that bottom lane. But they do need to be really cautious because Roland's already level 7, you know, he's in a great position on this monkey to take down Yonic in the 1v1s. And I feel not taking Darren down towards the bottom side actually is paying off more for PH All-Star than it is for Bad Mama Jammers here.
It is, yeah, and it's quite strange because usually you wouldn't see a carry sat in the bot lane. You'll usually see them head up in the top lane. So to see him down there, I guess with the Tiger buff definitely means he's more able to live down there by himself. And he's currently sat, of course, at level 7 as well, so doing some good wonders down there. So it's a nice kind of mix-up on what you'd expect to see in a game like this. But here we are now, and it's working out okay for them so far. Like I say, it's still 2-3, but it's still early days, only just about to start hitting the 5-minute mark, so no big deal there.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I think the issue always is when you take someone like Yonic, you know, into a Roland and you're taking them in the solo lane, it's very difficult for Yonic to actually get away from these melee bruisers. Like, it's assuming Roland is, you know, just soaring leaps in, jumps onto him, gets a huge amount of damage down, can do, you know, Blade Vortex's ultimate as well, of course. Just puts a huge amount of damage down onto Yonic, and then we see the stun. He's going to pop the Blade Vortex, and once again, just picks up the kill. Is the issue. It's exactly what I was saying. Yonic has no inherent escape apart from the teleport, and Roland's very happy just to continue to stick on him through that. He's going to take a huge amount of pain in response, though. Darren will pick up the kill. Actually, Uxar getting that one, and now they're going to turn their attentions over to Chubby Asian Boy. He has to try and retreat. Does get the damage back onto Darren. Almost takes him out. Chubby Asian Boy trying to do the 2v1. It's a double kill for Uxar, and Chubby Asian Boy will fall as well. Yeah, 3-for-1 trade in favor of Bad Mama Jammers there, showing why they are the baddest of the mamas around.
They are indeed there, and I think it just not so much bad target prioritization for them there as much as it was just trying to force it a little bit hard. I think you were kind of playing into Bad Mama's Jammers there, and that was the big issue they found, where you're trying, you know, you've sat into a concave in a sense. It's the same kind of thing you always saw back in like the days of StarCraft 2 and stuff, where you're trying to attack into an enemy where they've got a nice position set up, and suddenly they start crushing you out one by one. It just doesn't work out too well for you there. So throwing away that early lead that they got there, PH, but we've said it several times already, it's not the end of the world. It's only a 1 kill difference between the two of them, and there's much more to come yet.
Oh, definitely. And like we saw actually Ice Giant spawning first as well, so I have to think that's going to be left for a long time. Chubby Asian Boy once again gets taken out. Uxar on a rampage. Jafar doing a great job, and now Roland is the final target left here for BMJ. They're getting absolutely destroyed by this Darren. Perhaps not leveled as much as he usually would be, but Yonic's going to take the tower in the bottom lane. Bad Mama Jammers able to continue this push. It actually might turn their attentions over to the Ice Giant as well. Apple Pen and Roland do have awareness that this is going to be started up. They're going to run across there, going to see if they can spot out Bad Mama Jammers, who do need to be a bit cautious. I've got a slight level advantage, but here they come. Not actually going to check that Ice Giant, and it's actually fallen already, so bad play there, really, from PH All-Stars not to check the Ice Giant a little bit quicker after losing a few quick kills.
It could have, yeah, and like you say, the Darren, even if slightly in the levels, has been causing absolute chaos here. And it always seems to be a case of, you know, who can kill the enemy Jonic first. And if you bring him down, a lot of the damage disappears because that range damage is just so nice for consistent DPS throughout the fight. And while they've caught him out trying to take one of the main camps there, as you'd expect, it's where you'd probably find the Jonic if it were a Tiger especially. So it's worked out really nice for them. And like you say, the Ice Giant now going to be the one that's pushing forwards. And it's looking good. It's looking a lot better now for Bad Mama Jammers, starting to pull themselves in the lead. And you're obviously making good use of the fact that that Ice Giant is pushing so hard in the bot lane.
Yeah, really, really strong. Yonic's gone for a very aggressive build as well. You know, he's got his Rainbow Rapier, so he's got 125 P attack, which is second. I think it's the second most you can get in the game after the Holy Rainbow Rapier, which is the 190, and you ignore dodge with that Eagle Eye as well. So Roland, having to build a little bit tankier, trying to keep himself alive, went towards the mystical blazing tomahawk, but still not in the best of positions. They are looking for a fight here. Here comes Kull. Applepen's going to jump in. Lots of damage from Yonic from the backline. They'll take down one. Have lost a member in return, though. They're going to see if they can get the Uxar down. That is huge. And now Yonic, the last man standing, gets jumped on there by the entirety of the PH All-Star team. Chubby Asian boy able to pick himself up a double kill. They get the wipe as well, and they can look to getting themselves their first turret of the game.
Yeah, Roland there just followed up so well on the CC that his team brought through for him. The damage, like you say, just it's too much to handle when you catch two members that early on in the CC chain. Then they start getting the damage piled on top. They all fall down, and before you know it, they're pushing down the towers and making a really good use of it. So another good comeback, and it's kind of like you can't turn around and say, oh, it looks really good for them after this fight, because you know in the next fight they can turn around and get 3-0'd as well. And that's what's really nice, I think, especially since the last patches, that snowballing is a lot harder to do. The XP and gold decrease that comes through makes it a bit harder for our team to really take the game by the reins and run away with it, as it were.
Oh, definitely. And I want to just talk about the Yonic itemization choices here. We talked about how Prophecy's going, full attack, getting himself that Rainbow Rapier, and then getting himself the Thor's Hammer. Actually, if we look at Chubby Asian Boy, he's gone towards the Thor's Hammer first, and then built himself a Wicked Fang, so going more down that lifesteal route. So he's more about consistent damage throughout the fight, and we see he's not about the burst, because Roland was actually given the Tiger buff as well. So they're looking at Roland being their main damage source, whereas Yonic is just there for some consistent DPS throughout the fight, whereas BMJ are all about that Yonic doing as much work as he can throughout these fights. Roland's going to jump in on towards Yooka-Laylee. Here comes the damage on towards that Roland, though. Yooka-Laylee taking a huge amount of pain from Chubby Asian Boy off towards the backline. Now Roland's going to see if he can get on towards Prophecy. Will take him down as well. Only Uxar left alive, but it is the ace. The team wipe there once again for PH All-Stars. They take down BMJ.
It is, and that Tiger buff just did, like you're saying, doing really good, getting them extra P attack, and while it worked out for them at the start, they're jumping onto them. It just seems that they crumble here, Big Mama's Jammers, once they start getting jumped on by this team. The Roland just doing so much work here. It's really hard to deal with him. No real opportunity to CC him down once he's whirling away and melting through your team. Just wow is all you can really say. PH All-Star really putting the comeback on here.
I think it's the combo of that ability just to jump in, Kull goes in with his ult, does a huge amount of work, and then Roland there as well just to try and clean up the fight. Yonic staying off towards the backline, keeps himself safe, does get that consistent DPS off. I think the weakness coming out from BMJ is their inability to get on towards that Yonic. They're not able to take him down, and they're always trying to retreat away from Kiddo on that Roland. And once again, going to spot out Darren here. Will get the stun off, going to look for the chain. They get a huge amount of pain down on towards him, and he does go down, and now they're going to turn their attentions over towards Jafar, who's stuck in the midst of 3 members here. Absolutely melted away. Prophecy, the last man standing, will get taken out as well, and they'll turn their attentions over to the Fire Giant as well. We'll be able to take that one up, and I have to assume they'll give it out across to Roland as well.
You would indeed assume so, and it's just all kind of falling apart here. Like say, fight after fight now, they're losing it consistently. Okay, you might try and see it's the case again where the Yonic needs to be on either team the member that you kill first, and they just aren't being able to do that here. The Bad Mama's Jammers. It's all about PH All-Star, and especially, like I said, this Roland being able to jump in and cause absolute chaos, which is winning them fight after fight. With this fire coming through as well, can work out really nicely for them. Try and get some more pushes down, and 7 kills to go, so now only a couple more fights, and it could look like it's going to be lights out for Bad Mama's Jammers here. Oh,
definitely, and I think you have to look at the level disparity between the teams as well. Roland, who was that solo lane, bottom lane, Kiddo was there the whole time, is level 15. And compare that to the Yonic that BMJ put bot lane, he's only level 13, he's so far behind. Gonna get stunned up once again, and has to use the teleport away. Roland's gonna chase him though. Kiddo wants to kill on towards Prophecy, and will be able to, almost pick it up. Prophecy actually escapes. One more auto attack would have been enough, but Kiddo not quite able to connect there. Will not be able to take him down, but you have to feel that, not sending the Darren in towards bottom lane. He's actually still looking for a fight here. They're going for the dive. We'll get the Fire Elemental buff out of Yonic there. He'll be able to get himself back alive. Roland's backed away as well. Yooka-Laylee should fall here. Darren not going to be able to keep himself alive through Chubby Asian Boy and Kiddo's damage. And that Yonic is unstoppable now. 9-4 on that carry hero. I have to feel, play it in the top lane, put Darren in towards the bottom lane so he can scale a little bit better into the late game. And just keep your Yonic up in top. There's no point putting Yonic down and trying to solo lane him, because you're not going to be able to outpush a Roland who can just jump on your face.
This is the issue, and this is the Wind rightly pointed out in chat earlier on, is that you take Ionic in the bot lane because you know he can push and shove someone in, but equally, as you've just said, if you've got someone you're against who can jump on you and crush you, what's the point? It just doesn't work out for you that well. And so far, you know, the answer's looking limited for Bad Mama's Jammers. They don't really seem to have a way of getting into it. Okay, they had that force push a minute ago on the bot tower, but even then, that was a risk, and they knew they had to make a risk because they're already behind. Didn't really pay off for them, though.
It definitely didn't. You are totally correct. As always, Desertu. They're looking for a fight, though. Roland's going to jump onto Yooka-Laylee. Does get himself away from the stun, but BMJ just not engaging together here. Yooka-Laylee will fall straight away. Prophecy gets jumped on over the wall with a teleport, and Jaffafa has no place to go. It's a piece of cake for PH All-Stars. You might say it's a Jaffafa cake for them, as once again, they get the team kill. Only 3 kills left.
Are you proud of yourself for that?
I am incredibly proud of myself. I'm not sure if you have Jaffa cakes in America, so I'm not sure if that pun goes transatlantically, but if it doesn't, I just want to say that was the best pun anyone's ever made, and you guys should be pretty proud to have heard it. They will take the guard tower down.
No one will ever appreciate it either.
No, man.
Alright, man, I'll remember it. I'll carry it to my grave, don't worry.
Thanks, man.
It's all good. I had a meeting the other day, actually. Someone bought in 3 boxes of Jaffa cakes because the last meeting we had, it was half an hour long. They said, "Oh, we see you like Jaffa cakes." We finished them in 5 minutes, and they bought an extra 3 boxes this time. I was very impressed.
I bet you still finished them in about 5 minutes, didn't you?
These ones, I think it's for about 10 minutes they disappeared in. And there were 4 of us this time rather than 2, so they did go pretty quick.
Okay, well, Jaffa cakes are just so incredibly Moorish, and the chocolate isn't enough on them that they become sickly, which is the main problem. Anyway,
exactly.
Ice Giant is going to be started here by BMJ. It's a last-ditch effort for them, but Roland's going to jump in, try and get onto Devon. Great stun onto Uxar across the wall. Yonic's doing a huge amount of pain, though, and will be able to take down Roland just about, and they're going to try and go for the re-engage. Devon there as the front line. Kullet is there. Yonic's still doing a huge amount of damage from the back line. Chubby Asian boy should be able to take down Yooka-Laylee on this Devon, and it's Yonic v2 now. Prophecy trying to do what he can across the wall. Will take down the Ice Giant. But they do get the kill. It's a team kill, and it's 20 kills on the side of PH All-Star. Defeat for BMJ. We'll leave this screen up just for a second so you guys can look at item builds if you want to in chat. It's a dominant performance, and it's a lot about allowing your carries to carry. I feel that the Yooka-Laylee staying in that top lane didn't give them anything. He ends 5,000 gold down from Kiddo, and it means as well that Prophecy wasn't able to get to that huge spike that he needs by just being protected up in the top lane. So I feel a little bit of macro decision making awry there for BMJ, more than PH All-Star actually being the vastly superior team.
It was, yeah. It's, you know, leaving Prophecy down there in the bot lane to farm up was the intent, but when you've got a Roland who can sit there and do exactly the same, you know he's going to come out and jump on your face in every fight following that. He ended 4-2-14. Of course, it was, again, the Ionic on the other side was Chubby Asian Boy, who fit to pull the kills there, naturally done so. And in fact, in the last fight, you can look back and see that for the first time, it looked like Bad Mama's Jammers might have had a chance, because Roland got isolated in the middle of 3 of them. They managed to bring him down nice and quick, but at that point, the game had already ran away from them, and I think the snowball lead by that point had just become so great that they couldn't make that happen. They really needed a fight like that. Probably 6 or 7 fights ago if they were really going to make this work for them, but they just didn't use it to its full extent, and, well, I guess here, rightly so, lost out 20-9.
Yep. We will be getting into the next game between BMJ and PH All-Stars as soon as we can. We'll just have to wait for them to get through draft phase. Hopefully we'll get the specs lined up this time so that Des isn't absolutely miles behind me.
Here's my question then. Right, do I need to add you or do I need to add other players?
Well, you can add one of the players. Yeah, because if you spec off me, you're not going to be able to spec off me, man.
Exactly, yeah.
I can give you a KIA. I think I've got one somewhere.
Give me a name.
Yeah, but the name never works. I'm going to send you a KIA, because whenever you find them from names, it's a little bit difficult. Anyway, we are still in the first round of the Go4 MOBA Legends NA Cup number 4. It's Bad Mama Jammers 2 versus PH All-Stars. The winner of this faces up against Second Chance Gaming Blue, who are our, I want to say, 4-time reigning champions. I believe they won the first 3 North American Cups and then won the World Championship qualifiers. Actually, no, sorry. I'm looking at their stats right now. They won the first 2 North American Cups and then won the North American World Championship qualifiers as well. So they are the reigning champions anyway, but not quite as reigning as I thought they were. More of a light drizzle than the monsoon, perhaps, that they could be by the end of these NA Cups.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. And you know, there's obviously a bunch of teams that are playing in the tournament, each with their own angle to play with this new patch, and obviously with their own preferential picks as well. So I do expect to see some new things coming through with especially the vision changes as well. That was probably a really big one. I've actually just been told as well by Wind, it's actually 3 NA Cups they've won. There was one World Championship, and I assume he's going to tell me 2 something else in a minute, but here we are counting how many world victories they've had. So you can probably sit here and say 1 is impressive enough, and you can sit there and say there are plenty more to come through. But going back to the patch, it was 1.2, end of September. The vision reduction was massive, I thought. 1500 down to 1200 range view for each legend in the game. That makes map awareness all that more important. And I think we saw that last game with the Roland just being able to jump on them all the time. Didn't have enough vision range sometimes to see him sneaking into a bush. And before you know it, he's on your face, he's spinning away, and you're not having a good time.
That definitely makes it incredibly difficult to play in the same sort of style that we've seen, and perhaps we'll see more legends that can, you know, catch you by surprise and jump out of those vision areas because people aren't able to react as quickly or not quite as quick on their teleports as perhaps they used to be. So will be a very interesting series today, interesting set of games. We are in the round of 16, quarterfinals next obviously. And looking at it, we've got some good teams already through to the quarterfinals. So God Complex Alpha are there. We've got Second Chance Gaming Red. We've got Raw, who've been playing really well as well. And Second Chance Gaming Blue, of course. So we are just going to go to a very short break while these guys get into the game and we get the specs sorted out. But we'll be right back, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be an enjoyable evening of MOBA Legends actions, I'm sure. I am Sona. I'm joined by Desitu. And guys, we'll be right back.